I even use buzzwords like relax, confidence, and concentrate. Eventually, I learned to release all the energy in a positive way. Well, he wasn't known as the best clutch quarterback in history for nothing. At one point, I was so relaxed, I almost fell asleep in the locker room before games. But all this helps me perform in front of an audience. The first thing I do is to strip people of their titles, and then I strip the event of its importance. I convince myself that they're my friends, and they're not better than me. And then, when I've stripped them of all that, they're just like me. So I'm out there talking to a bunch of me's. It settles me down, and it makes it easier to talk to them. Personally speaking, I lost all my money twice. I've been divorced 3 times. I've been called stupid and dumb. And that's just a starting point. I learned what I need to do to get comfortable at it, and the whole time I'm going full speed ahead. I hear the critics, but it doesn't stop me. It never stopped me, and it never will. My rap. Just when you thought you knew him as a guy who had it all, you learned that no one has it all. Terry especially never had, nor never will have it easy. The important thing is, he kept moving forward, kept learning, and kept working. And the end result is 2 distinct Hall of Fame careers, one as a player, and now one as a broadcaster. Who knows, his next frontier might just be acting. I saw failure to launch, and old Terry was great. Of course, he'd be the last to acknowledge it, but he'd always be appreciative that you said it. Evander Holyfield. I always dream big. During the 1976 Olympics, I was watching a feature on the Spinks brothers, Leon and Michael. The whole world loved Sugar Ray Leonard and Howard Davis, but I related to those 2 brothers. They were from the projects, as was I. I looked at those 2 and thought, it is possible. Later, I found out it would take faith and hard work, but at the time, seeing them made it all seem possible and within reach. Put me in, coach. I had a hard time getting my football coach to put me in the game because I was a little guy, and he didn't know the size of my heart. My first goal was to play for the Atlanta Falcons, but the problem was that when I got to high school, I just could not get on the field. I was 110 pounds, and although the coaches thought I was good enough to make the team, they didn't think I was good enough to actually get in the game. I prepared each week like I was going to start, and each week I watched from the bench. It was incredibly painful and frustrating. I knew I would get a chance at some point, and that I had to be ready when it came. Can you imagine having a team that could not use Evander Holyfield? Tired of waiting, I just stood up at practice one day and said, "Coach, put me in at middle linebacker." He said, "Evander, those guys are 190 pounds. You're too small." I repeated, "Coach, put me in, and if the runner gets by me, I'll go back to the bench. But if I make the tackle, you keep me in. Deal?" He nodded, and I went in. The opposing coach called the play, and it was a screen pass to the fullback who was lumbering right toward me. I stopped him cold at the line. The sideline cheered. My coach said, "Good hit. Now take a seat." I watched from the bench for the rest of the season. I did not miss a practice. I was never late to a drill, and still, I didn't get another chance until the 4th quarter of the last game of the season. I played linebacker and made about 8 tackles in 12 plays. The coach came over to me at the end of the game and said, "I didn't know you could play like that. See you next year." Too late. I proved I could play, but I was done with football. It was time to become a boxer. Mom, let me quit. I wanted to quit boxing because there was this one fighter, Cesar Collin, who beat me twice for the Junior Olympic title. I just could not beat this guy. So I decided I wanted to quit. I told my mom, and she said, "No, you won't quit because you're not doing well or because you're frustrated. If I let you quit because you didn't beat this kid, you'll be quitting things your whole life." She told me most people quit things when they're not doing well. Beat this kid, win the division, then come to me and we'll do whatever you want with boxing. So at 12, I got another shot at Caesar, and I beat him. I went running home, told my mom, and she said, "Okay, Evander, now you can quit boxing." "Are you crazy?" I said. "Why would I quit after beating my toughest opponent?" Only then did I realize what she was trying to teach me. It was official. I had an irreplaceable life lesson. Final thoughts. I am so thankful my mom did not.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.